Okay, so we've talked about the correct path, we've talked about the club face control. Why is it the pros seem to strike the ball so crisply? You watch them on television and they take a nice divot after impact and they never seem to really have a poor strike. Well, that's because through training, practice and the correct technique, they're able to get the low point of their arc consistently in the right place. When we're talking about a medium iron, 6-7 iron or what have you, with the ball position in the right place, i.e. just slightly left of centre, a professional is able to get the low point where they get their angles that they've created in the backswing, dragging along and compressing the ball. So the low point of their arc is happening here just after impact. So the ball is taken with a squeezing effect, trapping it, and then the club head continues down through the turf. Both arms get straight here just after impact, and that's where the low point or bottom of their arc occurs. Now, unfortunately with golf it's different than other games because you've got 14 clubs in the bag with different lofts that require slightly different angles of approach to get the best flight on them. So if you were using a driver, for example, and the ball was teed up, we need to position the ball further forward near our left heel. We need to tilt our shoulders and spine ever so slightly back. The weight might feel marginally tilted to the right, but now my centre of gravity, centre of my body here, is more behind the ball, and I'm going to return to impact where I'm hitting it with a more level blow. The big hitters on tour are hitting it up. We can measure it these days, so they may be 3, 4, 5 degrees up. Tour average is about 1.3 degrees down, which is pretty level. If you could think of it like an aeroplane landing and just sweeping, this is the best effect. Many of you are struggling with your drives going too high. You might see you smashing the tee into the floor. You might see roof marks on the top of your lovely new wood. That's because your angle of attack is too steep, too down. You're not sweeping the ball off. So your goal when you're practicing with your woods and perfecting the best swing is to hit golf balls trying to leave that tee in the floor. Try and get the feeling of just picking it clean off the top. That way you're going to be hitting that ball forward with reduced spin on it, so it's not going to spin up as much, so it's going to carry further, assuming you're fitted with the right driver, with the right loft and shaft flex for your golf swing. Now going back to the irons, again you do need to appreciate that impact and address are not the same thing. Ball position confuses people, and they think that if the ball's forward with a wood it should be way back with an iron. That's not the case. Generally speaking, if you can keep your ball positions for full golf swings between the left heel and centre, you're not going to go far wrong. So your wedges and short irons from the centre, as the clubs get a bit longer, a bit further forward, and then into the woods, and the driver more off that left heel. So with your mid irons, if that ball's centre slightly ahead, that would be ideal, because then you can complement that with the correct movements in the swing. We're trying to avoid moving off the ball too much with our spine, but also if you've been told to keep your head down and over the ball, you don't want to be hanging and tilting this way. In a perfect world, you've tilted forwards, you've got a tiny bit of lean because your shoulders are at this angle, and you're going to rotate round your spine. So you're staying pretty centered, pretty zero. So as we turn here, I'm in this position. I'm not tilted this way, and I'm not tilted too much this way. My hips haven't moved out of the space that they occupy at address. They're just rotating. So they're just going to turn in their own space, and my shoulder turn is going to make these react. I'm getting into this position here. I'm going to swing my arms up on the correct angle, and now from here with a powerful swing, the body will start to shift and unwind. So at impact, with top players, their hips are further forward. They're using their hips to lever their arms. We're putting more pressure down in the floor. Our centre of gravity is moving slightly ahead, but we're not moving our head and chest way forward. So address is here, and impact might look something like this with an iron. So the hands are coming down, trapping that golf ball. Now my arms get long, my chin is going to be collected by my shoulder. So don't stay looking at the floor forever, because that's going to stop rotation, that's going to stop the speed that your body's creating, which is going to fling down your arms into impact. So if your body's static, I'm afraid you're just hitting with your hands and arms. That isn't going to give you the power for a full golf shot. So carrying on through to a balanced finish. Getting back to our original question of consistency. If you cannot start, swing back and swing through and hold your finish in balance, you aren't going to be consistent, I'm afraid. If you can't make two swings that don't finish the same, you will not get the duplication necessary to be a good golfer. So watch a good golfer practice. Go to a tournament, go to the Open, go and watch the best players in the world practice. You will see that they are always balanced. And it looks like a robot. They're finishing in the same fashion each time. If you're falling over, losing your balance, I'm afraid your swing shape will be changing every time. Remember, you need to move this consistent path with the face moving in the right direction, the correct angle of approach. If you can satisfy those things repetitively at speed, you're going to be playing consistent golf.